This husband and wife moved into their new house a few months ago. But something terrible happened to his wife and became the beginning of an endless investigation. The perpetrator was not human, but something that could not be seen by ordinary eyes. A woman named Clara was at home alone in the kitchen, but soon she heard a strange sound from inside the sink saying she would kill her. Although it was faint, Clara tried not to panic. A few moments later, her husband, Juan, came. Clara then told her that something was wrong in their house. She had just heard a strange sound from inside the sink. The sound was like a whisper of a human voice. Juan still couldn't believe it until he tried to listen to what was happening. Then he felt that this might come from their neighbor named Walter. The house had been noisy for several days. Possibly he was renovating. That night they were disturbed because the noise came from the wall of the room adjacent to his neighbor. Juan was annoyed because he couldn't sleep well. He went to Walter's house while asking him to be quiet at night, but still there was no answer. There was only a strange voice calling his name. When he returned home, Juan felt something was wrong. The bathroom still had the sound of running water. When he saw it, his wife was hanging floating with lots of blood spots scattered here and there. Of course, this was a deep trauma for Juan. He was considered crazy explaining what happened to his wife. But these three people believed him, therefore they wanted to help Juan solve this problem. The three of them were Rosentak, Mora, and Jano. They had long studied the supernatural world, and Mora was sure that this must be the work of invisible spirits. First, Juan explained that there was a neighbor named Walter who had seemed strange for the past few months. Almost every night he made noise from inside his house as if he was renovating, but that was precisely the source of the horror. On the other hand, Walter was seen asking for someone's help and explaining that strange things were happening in his house. But they didn't believe Walter. Walter couldn't sleep peacefully every night. There were strange sounds that appeared every few minutes. He even tried to check the condition under his bed, hoping there was nothing there. And it turned out there was a terrifying creature lurking around Walter's life. He hoped that night would be safe and he could see the morning. When he woke up in the morning, the house was in a mess, wondering what happened last night. Every night Walter tried to find a way to survive, and this time he wanted to show that what he experienced was real by recording it. The terror continued. Walter saw the creature appear when Walter was asleep, emerging from under the bed and entering the wardrobe. Walter tried to kill the creature with a weapon, but the creature was not there. But as soon as he turned around, the creature appeared and attacked him. One day there was a boy who entered Walter's yard because his ball went in there. Then Walter chased him away until the boy was scared. Then not long after, a bus appeared from the opposite direction and snatched the boy. The incident made the boy's mother very devastated. A detective named Funes came to solve this problem. He invited one of his friends who was none other than Jano. Funes is sure that this has something to do with mysticism, because that night they saw the boy's body reappear in a terrible condition. Somehow he was able to rise from the grave. What is clear is that the child did not speak a word. Jano began to feel sure that this was no ordinary problem. There was something evil in this settlement. Jano will be helped by Mora to solve this problem. Maro took pictures of every trace that might be a clue. While they were talking at the boy's mother's house, another boy entered the yard who was none other than his friend. He saw his friend's body turn towards him until he was scared and screamed. Jano and Mora then rushed to see what was happening. They were sure that something was wrong with the little boy's body. So Jano took the initiative to put the little boy's body in the refrigerator, but the little boy's friend secretly recorded their actions. Mora, Jano, and the others went further to find out the ghost or the mastermind behind all this. So they decided to stay at Juan and Walter's house for a while. They started checking every corner of the room, hoping to find the answer. At that time, Rosentak and Funes were at Walter's house and saw some kitchen utensils hanging strangely there. Then not long after, a knife stuck in Rosentak's hand and chaos began to occur. They were not alone in the house. Funes prepared his weapon in case the creature appeared and attacked them. Funes said that he was not ready for all this. He was not educated to handle strange cases like this. Rosentak was sure that they were in the center or nest of a ghost that was causing chaos in the settlement. There were many blood stains and traces in the house even though they were alone there. Funes called Jano to tell him that he no longer wanted to be involved in this terrible case. On the other hand, Jano looked from the other side and saw a strange figure in the kitchen. He thought it was Funes, but it turned out not to be. It was a ghost that was bothering Walter and the people around. Strange events made Funes even more confused. He even saw Yano's figure in a terrible condition locked in a closet. Who knows what happened but said not to believe what Funes saw, it was just a deceptive illusion. Then not long after, the ghost caught Mora and hit her head against the wall until she died. Funes was also attacked until he fell. The ghosts were still bothering him. Luckily, Elisa arrived not long after, the mother of the boy who died in the accident. Alicia had actually long realized that their settlement was unsafe and haunted. It was just that she didn't know what to do and gave up. Funes planned to end all this by burning the house. Unfortunately, when she asked Alicia for help, she was already gone. Funes was the only survivor, while the others, including Yano, did not survive. Several weeks after the strange incident, Juan was approached again by someone to ask for an explanation regarding the death of his wife and the 3 psychics. During the conversation, Juan pointed to a corner of the room and said, "Did you invite that person too?" Then, not long after, a chair floated and the film ended.